And that's it. You see how easy it is? You click the button, Jen, and we go live. So, welcome, Jen Rogers, and welcome everybody else who is tuning in either live or on the replay. I'm going to put a quick message in the chat asking people to let us know that you're here. And let's see, it posted on Facebook and on YouTube, but not on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
LinkedIn is having its troubles. I hope that LinkedIn is going to cooperate. In the meantime, Jen, people don't know who you are. So I'm going to ask you, if you would, to please introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when entrepreneurs are running around with their hair on fire because they're trying to figure out how to make an online business work, or they're trying to figure out, should I even start a podcast to help me grow my business? Well, that used to be me. And I have recovered from that time in my entrepreneurial journey. And now I help startup entrepreneurs leverage all of their resources, whether they are on either side of the microphone for a podcast as a host or a guest, or whether they're trying to figure out, how do I get paid? How do I have people give me money for the thing that I do? How do I talk about what I do? So that's what I am all about.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And again, if people are watching live or, you want to ask a question, make a comment, please feel free to do so. So today, for those of you who don't know me, Dr. Nancy Zare, I am the LinkedIn Whisperer. This is a name that was given to me by one of my clients. And then another client said, oh, no, 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 you're the sales whisperer because what you do is so much bigger than just LinkedIn. In either case, a whisperer is someone who has the ability to communicate with something that doesn't talk back. And in this case, I'm going to communicate with online material on LinkedIn. And we're going to do what's called a LinkedIn audit, a profile audit. And we're going to look at it, Jen, specifically from the point of view of what personality style, what ideal client are you trying to attract? So I'm going to ask you that question, and I think you have some clear answers, but there are probably some people out there watching this or maybe looking at the replay. If you don't know who your ideal client is, that's where you have to start, because otherwise you're spinning your wheels trying to go after everyone and you get no one. So Jen, who is that ideal person?
Yeah, it's such a great question, and it's actually something that I teach. So, gosh, I hope I pass this question, Nancy. Ah! Hey, listen, if you are in a situation where you're asking yourself, is it time for me to start a business? And is it time for me to do it online? Then you are my ideal client. I can help you work through that process to decide whether or not starting your business online is for you. So you probably, well, that's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop right there. What do you think, Nancy? Do I
So
need to say more?
yes, I'm going to ask you to even go deeper into who this ideal person is.
Mhm.
A lot of times people start with demographics, male, female, age range, maybe socioeconomic status, educational, but at least give me a little bit more than that, okay?
Yeah, certainly. So, one of the things I'm passionate about is sharing my faith. So, I specifically work with Christian women entrepreneurs.
Perfect. Now, I'm even going to ask you to go even deeper than that. And then, by the way, if this is again an area where you need help, either Jen or myself could probably help you go deeper and understand who that person is. I'm specifically going to be looking at what's called psychographics, what I call the personality style, the buying style of your prospect. And so there are 4 different ways that people are hardwired to show up, make decisions, communicate. There is the drive, action, get it done, quick, quick, quick. That's the number 2 step. Then there is the heart centered, mission driven, cause centered individual who wants relationships. That's the number 4 style. The 6th style is the person who needs a system, a structure, a procedure. They feel safe when there is a system they can follow. That's our number 6. And the number 8 style, very intellectual. Take a deep nosedive, need to learn everything. That's our number 8. So would you think that your ideal Christian woman entrepreneur, is she more 2, 4, 6, or 8?
2.
2. Driven, quick, Decisive. Okay, we're going to be looking at Jen's profile from that perspective. And now I'm going to share my screen. And this is new for me, by the way, sharing screens and all that. So bear with me as we have some fun. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't know, Jen, can you see the screen?
I can.
Oh, good. I'm glad. All right. So I have Jen's profile up. And this is what I teach and what I instruct when people are working with me and learning this skill of becoming a whisperer yourself. We always start with the photo. And remember, Jen is trying to attract that number 2 Christian woman entrepreneur. She's driven, she's excited, she's ready to go. She wants things done, no grass under her feet. So, is this picture conveying that? Get it done, quick, drive? A little bit, but not in some ways. For example, the colors are definitely appealing to that style of woman. They're bright, they're vivid, they're highly saturated. The color of your dress, the color of the curtain behind you say that. The posture doesn't quite convey that va va boom, let's get it done. Would you agree?
Gosh, this feels a little bit like finding yourself naked on a TV screen. Ah!
Remember, you signed up for this.
I did sign up for this. I did, and this is how we learn, so I love it. I think it would need to be more of my face and me closer up and
Yeah,
possibly a different pose.
it's the pose. It's the pose that needs changing. Because the head is tilted down towards the microphone, it doesn't convey that, shoulders back, lots of confidence. I'm the woman you want to follow. So I would agree with you. I think we need a slightly different photo. And we may want to look more at your face. So good thoughts. And again, it is hard, especially we're going live, right? She and I did not rehearse this. So please hold your judgments, okay? She's literally naked here in front of us. Her
I love
profile
it.
is naked. All right. So then we're going to look at her banner. And again, is this banner saying, I am the one to follow? Because this is important. Now we see that it's got a nice sense of music and podcasting because we see the sound underneath. But we probably need to, and there's a very specific call to action with a date, which means that this woman updates her banner regularly. Good for you. Bravo, Jen.
Well, remember, this is still new, but I'll take it. I'll take the bravo. Thanks.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so that's our banner. Now, the next thing and by the way, it's very interesting. I've been doing a survey this week of what it is people pay attention to on a LinkedIn profile. And absolutely, the photo is very strong. The banner, of course, is big real estate, but here's the area that everyone is telling me is so important. It's what's called the headline. And so you get it done. Ooh, that's very good for the number 2. They love to hear that because these are people who want to get things done. They're into action and they're into doing. Podcast plus time management coach. And she's got an emoji there of a little clock. It's clever, but what you may want to do instead is put a benefit. You're giving us nouns: podcast coach, time management coach, creator of this sprint, a speaker, etc. Those nouns, those kinds of categories tell us about you, but not what you can do for me. Everybody's listening to WIIFM. Does that make sense?
Well, I actually quote that to my clients. It's so interesting. It's like the car mechanic whose car is always broken down. So I would say, if I were to redo this based on this little tidbit of what you just shared with me, I would say launch your podcast and simplify your life in 90 days.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And host the top 1.5% podcast. It's absolutely appealing to your number two. So somehow squeeze that in at the end if you can. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so what I'm hearing you say actually is take out that podcast and time management coach, because it's clear I am a coach of doing that when I say you can launch and simplify in 90 days. So I think I would just replace that. What do you think about that?
I like that because you
Okay.
don't need that. You don't need
Mhm.
those nouns. What you need is the benefit.
Okay. Got
Yeah.
it. I can do that.
Okay. Whoops. Somehow. All right. There we're still here. I guess LinkedIn wanted to re-up. You're still seeing my screen, yes?
I am.
Okay. All right. I'm now scrolling down. I'm scrolling down slowly. Okay. And then I'm going to go usually to the about section. Now, this is an area that many people farm out and have someone write for them if they don't feel very comfortable. I mean, you have made it fairly easy for me to read with the little flags and the green check marks and so forth. There's a lot of information, and your number two buyer doesn't like to read. They're so quick, they're so fast, they just want to get stuff done. So you may want to think about, can I shorten this? Because it's a lot.
Mhm.
Just an idea.
Okay.
I mean, it is pretty long. See how long that is?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then the service is fine. I'm going to continue. She's done well by featuring things, and she's keeping that up. She's got her posts as her first thing. And by the way, if you wanted to have videos come up first, you would tag this, and you can actually move the order of these things. Many people
Oh,
don't know that. So if you would like more video to show of you, because you clearly that's a way for you to connect with people, you may want to change the order.
I didn't know you could do that. Wonderful.
Okay. We're continuing to go down. I'm going to jump over things like experience and education, licenses, skills, interests. She does not have something called recommendations. I'm going to stop the share.
Okay.
This is so, so crucial and something that I'm going to recommend you change pronto. Think of your LinkedIn profile almost like a resume. It comes up first in a Google search. It does. It's just
Mhm.
so powerful. And recommendations are an easy way for people to learn about you and have a sense of third party endorsements. They may not even read them, but the fact that you have them becomes important. My suggestion is that for every recommendation you request, you actually give to. So if you aren't in the habit of giving recommendations, this is a perfect time
Mhm.
for you to drop little gifts on people and start
Mhm.
giving them recommendations and in turn ask. Now, for people who are wondering, well, how do you do that? I'm going to go back and share my screen for a second, and I'm going to show you what you do in order to invite. And here we go, I think. It's always exciting. Oh, here we are. Okay, so we're back on sharing Jen's profile, and I'm going all the way now to the top. And there is the word more. See the word more?
Mhm.
Request a recommendation. You would click that in order to ask some of the people who've worked with you, because I am sure there are a gazillion people out there who want to say, hallelujah, I met Jen. And
Mhm.
then recommendations. This is how you make a recommendation. So, for example, if I'm going to recommend Jen, which I actually will do, I look down and I find what it applies. And so we're going to have to figure this one out. It could be that maybe we're in the same group, might make the most sense. And then what was her position? Well, she was the podcast host. And now I get to write my recommendation. And by the way, if I don't like it, AI can actually write something for me, but that's a little hard. I still have to tell AI what to write. But this is how you do a recommendation. And then if you continue to scroll to the bottom, there is a send button that you hit. So I will stop sharing again and return to us. So what did you think? This was your LinkedIn profile audit.
I'm still breathing, so this is really good. It's helpful. It's really helpful to have somebody else have eyes on your things. And I would say thank you for a recommendation. I was going to ask you for a mutual recommendation swap based on your great advice. So thank you for that. I will leave you a recommendation as well. Uh, it just points to me that we get to a certain level, no matter where we are. If we're just starting out in our business or we've been at it for years and years, there's always a next rung in the ladder for us to up level. And that's why we need each other. And one of the things I'm finding in the LinkedIn community is there's this incredible desire to serve that it's at a different level. So I'm very grateful for the time and for the recommendations. And I would also say that when you're working with someone, remember, it's kind of like hiring a lawyer. You're filtering what they have. And so I know I need to take what you shared with me and say, does that line up with my values, with what I believe, with how I want to show up? And so I really appreciate how you gave recommendations and didn't tell me what to do. You can tell AI what to do, but you didn't tell me what to do, but you gave this very helpful feedback. And I really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And Cheyenne Clayman has been live and has made several comments. And thank you so much for tuning in live. For whatever reason, it did not show up on our screens. Otherwise, I would have posted your comment here to let Jen know that you were supporting her along the way. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. She's a great supporter for sure and a connector as well. So connect with Shay if you haven't.
Okay, and Shay, guess what? You could be writing a recommendation for Jen, right? You're her supporter. So go ahead and give her that gift. I'm sure that she will be returning it as well.
Absolutely.
All right. To your sales success. This is Dr. Nancy Zaire, the LinkedIn Whisperer, along with
Jen Rogers, host of Time to Simplify.
All right.